Chapter 51 Unique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Do gang, don't contact the Meng Jiao family for the time being. After I recover, I will find out more about what happened. The two were discussing Zhao Xinyu's affairs in the ward. Zhao Xinyu had already started barbecue outside the yard. Although they had not started eating yet, the aroma of the barbecue was already unbearable for the Luo family, not only the Luo family, but also the middle-aged men who were responsible for protecting the Luo family and those brought here by Du Gang gathered. They all kept swallowing their saliva, which made Zhao Xinyu, who was having a barbecue, even thinking about it, if it were a wartime, would his barbecue meal make them all turn to him? After the meal started, the Luo family completely lost their demeanor. Not to mention the younger generation, Luo Jiangwo and his 4 brothers and sisters all rushed to eat barbecue with the younger generations regardless of their image. When Zhao Xinyu brought up the large pot of stewed crucian carp, the Luo family was even more horrified. In a family like theirs, they could not eat any kind of delicacies, not just ordinary crucian carp, but also delicacies from mountains and seas, but this stewed crucian carp made them addicted to it. The old man who had just woken up also ate 3 crucian carp and drank a bowl of fish soup. This was because he was worried that his body would not be able to bear it just after he woke up. If he was allowed to eat freely, Luo Jiangwo and the others don't know how many strips the old man can eat by himself. Compared with the bodyguards of the Luo family and the Luo and Du families, these hard-blooded men seemed very gentle. They did not fight for it, but evenly distributed the roasted meat and stewed crucian carp that Zhao Xinyu had cooked. However, after the distribution, they ate up all the barbecue and crucian carp like a storm. After eating, they couldn't help but glance at Zhao Xinyu, their eyes full of unfinished thoughts, and because of a barbecue and a pot of stewed crucian carp, 3 generations of the Luo family became familiar with Zhao Xinyu. Luo Jiangwo's son Luo Xiao came to Zhao Xinyu after eating. "Xinyu, let's open a barbecue restaurant together. I will pay for all the expenses. We will only sell barbecue and stewed crucian carp. We will add 2 to 1 to 5 of the profits we get." Du Mengnan chuckled, "Brother Luo Xiao, I've said this a long time ago. This guy built a farmhouse by himself. Now I don't know how many people in Pengcheng want to eat his stewed crucian carp, but this guy is good. He doesn't even have a farmhouse every day. Go, people who want to eat at his farmhouse have to queue up every day, so you can't even think about cooperation." Seeing Luo Xiao's wry smile, Du Mengnan's almond-shaped eyes flashed a few times. "Brother Luo Xiao, we are going back tomorrow. Taking this opportunity, you might as well ask him to help you get something that will make you proud and give it to your sister-in-law." As soon as Du Mengnan said these words, everyone in the Luo family was stunned. "What is this? Meng, what is it to conquer a country and a city?" Du Mengnan said nothing and pointed directly at his pretty face. This immediately made all the female generals of the Luo family look hot. "Meng, the cosmetics you use are amazing. I wanted to ask you when you came here, why have I never heard of such a brand?" Luo Yan grabbed Du Mengnan and asked. "Aunt Luo Yan, Qingqing is not a cosmetic. It is an ointment he concocted. It can repair scars. Just use a little when washing your face and leave it on for 10 minutes to wash off." "Xinyu, what Meng said is true?" Luo Yan asked with burning eyes. Zhao Xinyu nodded. "I made the ointment myself. When I go back, I will get one for everyone, and I will ask Meng to find someone to bring it over." "How much?" "We give him $1,066 a share, which can last about a month." "So cheap." "Aunt Luo Yan, it's not cheap. We gave him 10,000 yuan, but he didn't accept it. He took a symbolic 1,600 yuan. "Brother Yu, I like the scent of roses, can you make it?" A sweet-looking little girl in her late teens asked in a sweet voice. "It's okay. What main colors do you like? Write them down and I'll try to mix them later." Zhao Xinyu, Qingqing can also change the fragrance. Du Mengnan was anxious this time. Which mixed fragrance are you using? Although the fragrance is light, it is suitable for your age. Seeing Zhao Xinyu say this, Du Mengnan's face softened. Go back and mix it up and let me take a look. The next day, Zhao Xinyu went to check the old man's pulse again. After confirming that the old man only needed rest to recover, he said goodbye. Luo Jiangwo asked how much the medical visit was, and Zhao Xinyu waved his hand directly. Because of Du Gang's relationship, Luo Jiangwo did not force it. He left his phone number with Zhao Xinyu and asked Zhao Xinyu to call him when he came over. Although no money was collected, Zhao Xinyu had gained a lot when he left. In addition to the promise from the Luo family, he also took several boxes of unlabeled tobacco and alcohol from his home. On the special plane, Du Gang looked at Zhao Xinyu with twinkling eyes. Xinyu, you are so proficient in Chinese medicine. I think you should focus on Chinese medicine. Now that Chinese medicine is in decline, we need young people like you to raise the banner of Chinese medicine again. Zhao Xinyu nodded. Mr. Du, I understand. When I go back this time, I will review the basic knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. After a while, I will get the qualification certificate for practicing traditional Chinese medicine. Du Gang couldn't help but grin. You didn't graduate from a university of traditional Chinese medicine, how come you don't have a medical qualification certificate? I happened to have an accident at that time, so I didn't take part in the assessment. Du Gang couldn't help but shook his head. Fortunately, Zhao Xinyu cured the old leader. If there was any accident in the process, how would the Luo family view themselves if they knew that Zhao Xinyu did not have a medical qualification certificate? Returning to Bailiangding, Zhao Xinyu's life has returned to peace. While he is practicing and studying the essence of the Golden Chamber, he also reads the Chinese medicine books he had in college, and in his spare time, he makes the most beautiful medicine. He had already accumulated a lot of experience in making Qinghua Qingqing at the beginning, and now it is much more convenient to prepare Qinghua Qingqing with different scents. In less than a month, he had combined 16 different scents of Qinghua Qingqing. He also felt that so many scents would definitely meet the needs of the Luo family. Then he specially made a batch of antique bottles from the internet, packed the different scents of Qinghua Qingqing into categories, and put handwritten labels on them. Some masters of traditional Chinese medicine may disdain the idea of making a beautiful medicine for girls, but during the preparation process, Zhao Xinyu gained a deeper understanding of the medicine, and he also gained a new understanding of the theory of traditional Chinese medicine. When Du Mengnan came over again, Zhao Xinyu took out a bottle of each kind of Qinghua Qingqing and gave it to Du Mengnan. When he saw the 16 kinds of Qinghua Qingqing placed in front of him, Du Mengnan was completely dumbfounded. She believed that Zhao Xinyu could mix different scents of Qinghua Qingqing, but she never thought that he could mix 16 kinds. After feeling each fragrance, Du Mengnan was even more shocked. Each of the 16 fragrances has a main fragrance, but the fragrance is not a single one, but a variety of fragrances mixed together. There is no smell at all. No matter how pungent it is, each one gives people a comfortable and elegant feeling. Looking at Du Mengya, who was a little silly, Zhao Xinyu suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of accomplishment, which gave him a greater yearning in his heart. How about it, do you like the taste? Du Mengnan suddenly looked at Zhao Xinyu. You think that suits me? Zhao Xinyu smiled faintly and reached for a bottle with the label of Yumenlan fragrance. This one should be suitable for you. It has a light and elegant fragrance and can keep people's minds clear at all times. Du Mengnan's heart suddenly surged with warmth, and the way she looked at Zhao Xinyu changed slightly. She also liked this dream orchid fragrance. She didn't expect that Zhao Xinyu had the same idea as her and chose this fragrance. Payment. Taking the Yumeng Lanxiang, Du Mengnan looked at Zhao Xinyu. I hope this one is unique. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, okay, although I am easy to talk to, I still have to find some way to repay him. The next moment, something unexpected happened to Zhao Xinyu. Du Mengnan reached over and kissed him lightly on the cheek. The two of them were shocked at the same time, and their faces turned red almost at the same time. Du Mengnan chuckled, there is a reward. This is my first kiss. If you dare to give Yumeng Lanxiang to others, I will never be done with you. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 52 Mid-Autumn Festival Welfare. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Looking at the smiling Du Mengnan, Zhao Xinyu's heart surged, and he felt a strange feeling that he had never had before. It was not so much Du Mengnan's first kiss, but it was the same for him. You must know that he has never taken the initiative to hold a girl's hand in so many years. Let alone a kiss. Why don't you want to? Seeing that Zhao Xinyu didn't say anything, Du Mengnan thought that Zhao Xinyu was unwilling. How come? There is some Yumeng orchid incense here. You can take them all away later. Then you can get 2 bottles for each of them according to the order. By the way, your family members should also get some. While talking, Zhao Xinyu pulled over 2 large boxes. When he opened the boxes, Du Mengnan saw 2 boxes full of items with different labels. This is all you're doing? Zhao Xinyu nodded. I haven't done anything during this period. I have been busy making this thing. This should be enough for you to use for a while. Bring me to the car. Zhao Xinyu was slightly startled. What are you doing? Are you planning to give it away? This thing is a bit troublesome to sit up. Don't worry, hurry up. When Zhao Xinyu loaded the 2 boxes of everything into Du Mengnan's sports car, Du Mengnan didn't even say hello, but stepped on the accelerator. Looking at the sports car driving away, Zhao Xinyu was speechless. When he returned to the hospital, Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan, who were helping Jiang Pengxin recover, laughed and said, Meng Meng is gone. Zhao Xinyu nodded. Xiaopeng, how do you feel? I can walk more than 10 meters, but I'm still a little tired. Don't worry. By the way, do you know the Tangtu song by heart? It's cooked. My parents checked it several times and I memorized it in one go. Starting from today, I will memorize the Huangdi Neijing. It will take 10 days to memorize it. And when I ask which chapter, you must immediately answer which page it comes from. Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan were slightly startled, with a trace of embarrassment on their faces. They all looked at Jiang Pengxin with a hint of worry. They had seen the Huangdi Neijing. The text in it was obscure and convoluted. Not to mention 10 days in imagination, even if you give them a month, they may not be able to memorize it, let alone which page each piece comes from. Master, it took you several days to recite the Huangdi Neijing. Zhao Xinyu smiled lightly and said, I recited it when I was 6 years old, and it took me 4 days. This answer moved Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan. At the age of 6, it only took them 4 days to memorize the Huangdi Neijing which they could not recite in a month. How much time did it take? You must know that the age of 6 is the time when you are innocent and live a happy childhood nestled in the arms of your parents. But at that time, Zhao Xinyu memorized the Huangdi Neijing that others could not recite. Now he has given his son 10 days. On the one hand, he cares about his son, and on the other hand, Zhao Xinyu really hopes that his son can be like him. Okay, master, I will definitely learn it by heart within 10 days. Zhao Xinyu nodded. Brother Jiang, how long is it until the Mid-Autumn Festival? 13 days to go. Have you heard about the Mid-Autumn Festival in the village? There is no development in Xihanling. The village has no money and nothing to give. Yesterday, I met Uncle Han and said that in the surrounding villages under development, every household has rice, flour and oil, and they are given 500 yuan. Zhao Xinyu nodded and asked Jiang Pengxin to take a rest. He went back to the room by himself. When he returned to the room, Zhao Xinyu took out his mobile phone and checked the balance on his bank card. You wouldn't know it if you didn't look at it. He was shocked when he saw that his account balance was nearly 2 million. In more than half a year, he had earned more than 2 million. This made Zhao Xinyu also surprised. Taking out a pen and paper, Zhao Xinyu sketched on the paper. Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan came in a few times. They also saw that Zhao Xinyu seemed to be calculating something, but Zhao Xinyu did not speak, and they did not ask. In the afternoon, Zhao Xinyu went out on an electric tricycle. No one knew what he was doing. He didn't come back until the evening, and then he started busy cooking. After dinner, Zhao Xinyu called Han Tianliang and asked him to bring the village cadres over. Zhao Xinyu just called and said nothing. Han Tianliang didn't know what Zhao Xinyu was going to do. "Xinyu, is there something wrong?" Around 9 o'clock, all the village cadres in Xihanling arrived, and Han Tianliang asked directly without beating around the bush. "Grandpa Han, how many households are there currently living in the village in Xihanling?" Han Tianliang didn't even think about it. There are a total of 642 households in the village, but now there are 516 households in the village, 62 low-income households, 47 poverty-stricken households, 14 households a childless old man. "Xinyu, you want to?" Han Tianliang and others suddenly felt excited, and they vaguely felt that Zhao Xinyu might want to distribute some rice noodles or something to the villagers. You must know that almost all the surrounding villages have been developed in recent years, but Xihanling has not seen any development due to its terrain and lack of water. During every New Year and festival, people in other villages can receive benefits, but Xihanling cannot get a penny. It is precisely because of this that many young people who have reached the age of marriage cannot even find a wife. "Grandpa Han, I heard that other villages give every household rice, flour, oil, and 500 yuan, right?" Han Tianliang and others nodded with a wry smile. Every time they heard this news, they didn't know how many times they would be asked and criticized by the villagers. "I'm going out in the afternoon. We won't talk about the households who are out. We will be the same as them for the 516 households who stay in the village. Each household with minimum living allowance and poor households will receive an additional 500 yuan. Each household with 14 orphans and elderly people will receive an additional 500 yuan. One household was given more in the past, but everyone will have to work harder tomorrow." When Zhao Xinyu said this, Han Tianliang and the others were completely stunned. Everyone was a little confused. Originally, they were thinking that Zhao Xinyu could just give some rice noodles to the villagers, but they didn't want to give it like other villages. Residents are provided with benefits that are not available in other villages. "Okay, I will notify the villagers later. If they know that you sent these to them, they will go crazy with joy," Han Tianliang said excitedly. Zhao Xinyu chuckled, "Grandpa Han, I haven't finished speaking yet. You guys have worked hard for the village every day. Grandpa Han, please help me with my work. I will give more to everyone except you. 5,000 as a mid-autumn festival benefit for your hard work for the village." "Xinyu, this is too much." Jia Zhansi, the village party secretary, stuttered a bit when he spoke. "I am able to come to the village thanks to your help. Without you, I would still be picking up scraps and delivering food on the street." These words made Han Tianliang and the others fall silent for an instant. It is true that when Zhao Xinyu was in despair, it was the late Su Ning and Han Tianliang who helped Zhao Xinyu. Now that Zhao Xinyu is rich, he is still grateful to them. They are really a little embarrassed. The next day, people waiting to take photos of Jin Yu and Jin Hen outside the gate suddenly discovered that almost all the villagers in Xihanling were coming towards the compound, which made them immediately realize that something must have happened. As large trucks drove to the road opposite the gate, the villagers rushed to the road. Later, people learned that Zhao Xinyu did not forget the villagers when he became rich. He distributed Mid-Autumn Festival benefits to every villager at his own expense, and for the villagers in need have stepped up their efforts to help. Regarding this kind of positive energy, those photographers did not hesitate to use their traffic. One video after another was posted on the internet, and it quickly aroused people's heated discussion. The number of likes for each video exceeded 100,000 in a short period of time. Millions. The power of the internet is beyond anyone's imagination. When the villagers received their Mid-Autumn Festival benefits, Pengcheng TV station sent a special reporter to conduct on-site interviews. They could interview villagers and photographers and share their joy, but the person concerned never showed up. They also wanted to go into the yard to take photos up close, but the black wind like a calf became an insurmountable obstacle for them. But just like that, reports that Zhao Xinyu did not forget the villagers when he got rich quickly spread throughout the streets and alleys of Pengcheng, making more people know the name Zhao Xinyu. and Zhao Xinyu was recognized by the villagers of Xianling because of this mid-autumn festival welfare, and his shadow was imprinted in the hearts of every villager in the village, even Zhao Ximing and the family members of those little ruffians who once resented him. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 53. Good fortune and misfortune are unpredictable. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me, and on this day, a piece of news caused a sensation in Xianling. Han Tianliang, Han Li, Jingmin, Jiang Fei, Chu Qianfan, who were the backbone of Zhao Xinyu, each received a large salary of 50,000 yuan. Red envelopes, and other people working in Saiji and Nanjiale also received red envelopes worth 8,000. Some villagers calculated an account for Zhao Xinyu. Zhao Xinyu spent at least 1 million on the Mid-Autumn Festival benefits. On the night of August 14th, the farmhouse was closed to the public. Kaigoe, the farmhouse, and everyone who took care of Luo Shui gathered at the farmhouse. When the best dish of stewed crucian carp was served and people like Zhao Xinyu and Jingmin appeared, the whole hall burst into warm applause. Looking at the excited Han Li and others, Zhao Xinyu said a few words briefly, then walked to the 2 boxes he had specially brought and opened them. Damn, this is a special supply of wine and special cigarettes. Xinyu, which important person did you rob? I heard that a box of these special supplies cigarettes was even offered for 1,000, but I can't buy it. Wait for the cigarette box and the wine box. Leave them all to me, Han Li shouted excitedly as he watched the special cigarettes and special wines placed on the table by Zhao Xinyu. Xinyu, why are they fake? When 2 bottles of special wine and 2 boxes of special cigarettes were placed on each table, Han Li looked at Zhao Xinyu with a hint of doubt. You'll know if it's fake or not after you try it. Let me try it first. Han Li opened the cigarette box and smoked a cigarette. He saw that there was still no writing on it, but the tobacco was golden and the particles were the same size. Taking a deep breath, Han Li shrank his eyes and looked up at Zhao Xinyu. It's true. Do you still have any at home? Get me a box and I'll show off when I go out. As soon as he spoke, Han Jun, Huang Jijun, Wang Yulong, and Lu Ming at their table immediately started to light one. There are still a few boxes at home. Come over later and I will bring them to you. You don't really know that official, do you? These things are all specially provided. Even for provincial officials, they only get a few pieces per year. Eat your food. Why are you talking so much? That the past 6 months have been unforgettable for everyone present. Zheng Min and his family never imagined that their lives would undergo earth-shaking changes in these 6 months. It is precisely because of this that everyone is very relaxed when eating, and even non-drinkers have to drink a small glass. After drinking for 3 rounds, Han Li took a photo of Zhao Xinyu who was sitting next to him and said, Xinyu, come to our house tomorrow during the Mid-Autumn Festival to save you from being alone. As soon as he said this, the hall fell silent instantly. They also knew about Zhao Xinyu. His grandfather passed away and Zhao Xinyu was really alone. The Mid-Autumn Festival is a day for the whole country to reunite. Zhao Xinyu spent the festival alone. Many of them had not thought of it. Go to my house. No, Xinyu hasn't been to my house yet. He has to go to our house tomorrow. Looking at the red-faced brothers, Zhao Xinyu's eyes flickered a few times and said, Do you think this is a good idea? Why don't we all still be here tomorrow and have a lot of fun together? There was silence in the hall for a moment, but bursts of warm applause broke out in an instant. After the applause, Han Jun stood up and looked at the people. Everyone's life has changed today because of Xinyu. Xinyu often tells us that we should know how to be grateful. Here is a toast to Xinyu, and everyone will come early tomorrow. And just when a group of people were changing glasses, a group of uninvited guests with sticks broke into the courtyard. These people all wore hats and masks, with only one pair of eyes exposed. They pried the door into the courtyard, and they opened a big net to capture them. Hafen stayed in the compound to look after the house. Hafen would let them catch him. At first, Haifeng just dodged, and a large area of vegetables was trampled down. But Haifeng relied on the vegetable patch to continue to avoid being caught in their nets again and again. And with his strong body, he knocked out at least 5 or 6 people. Seeing that Haifeng could not be caught, the gang showed their ferocity, and a man wearing a mask who was always directing issued an order, beat him to death. Although Haifeng was able to dodge this time, sticks kept falling on him, which also aroused Haifeng's ferocity. When Haifeng, covered in blood, fell dying in the vegetable field, the group at least 20 of the more than 30 gangsters were injured by the black wind. There were traces of fighting everywhere in the vegetable garden of the compound, and there were pools of blood on the ground. It was unclear whether it belonged to Black Wind or the gangsters. Go and remove the computer host. These people carried the computer host and the injured into the car. What else is there at home? There is nothing left, just some household appliances and a few broken wine jars, but there are 2 special things. What? Special supply of cigarettes and wine, a lot of quantity, 3 boxes. Take it back and have a look. It must be fake, but it's okay to deceive those second-hand people. Light a fire. When the fire burst into the sky, something unusual was immediately discovered at the farmhouse. When a group of people rushed back to the yard, Zhao Xinyu saw that the nearby villagers had begun to put out the fire, but there was no sign of Haifeng. Soon some villagers saw Haifeng covered in blood and dying in the vegetable field. Zhao Xinyu, who was in grief and anger, did not care about anything else and immediately began to treat Haifeng. Fire trucks and police cars roared over there. Zhao Xinyu was busy treating Haifeng, and Hanli and the others were being questioned over there. In the early hours of the morning, Zhao Xinyu let out a long sigh. He wouldn't care too much about what happened to his family. Haifeng was his partner and his relative, and he didn't want to see anything happen to Haifeng. If it weren't for others, Zhao Xinyu would have taken Haifeng into the space long ago, but now he can only rely on his medical skills to save him. Fortunately, there is space water, and the dying Haifeng has a little life. Xinyu, all the surveillance hosts have been taken away. They did not leave any traces. The police have started to collect evidence from the surrounding areas. The results will be available soon. Han Tianliang looked at Zhao Xinyu, who was sitting next to Haifeng. Zhao Xinyu smiled sadly. He did not say anything, but he knew in his heart that since the other party dared to break into his home so blatantly and take action, they must be fully prepared and it would be difficult to investigate them. Xinyu, this place has been burned. Go to my house. When daybreak, I will find someone to come and clean up here, Han Jun said with a frown. Han Jun, you go back first. Haifeng has a lot of broken bones and can't move. I'm here to watch him. Xinyu, it's you they want to deal with. If they come back again. It's become like this. They won't come back. You go back first. There are still many things to do tomorrow. After everyone left, Zhao Xinyu's eyes flashed with a cold light. This time he was really angry. At this moment, he had an urge to kill. After forbearing again and again, he got this result. He stood up and locked the door. Haifeng took it into the space and took a few glances at the dilapidated room. After seeing that Ling Longzui had not been taken away, Zhao Xinyu took Ling Longzui into the space. He went to the grape trellis by himself. In a luxurious private room of a 5-star hotel, Hu Zhenyu was pouring and drinking his own dishes in front of a large table with an extremely indifferent expression. As the box door rang, one was fat and the other was thin. The thin one was a young man in his mid-20s. The young man had deep scars on his face, and there was a hint of fierceness in his eyes. He looked ruthless at first glance. Character of the fat man was a middle-aged man. If Zhao Xinyu was in the box, he would definitely recognize him at a glance. The middle-aged man was Ma Xing, who took the city management to his house to extort money last time. Zhang Mingkue, how are you? Did you catch that dog? That dog was too fierce. I took more than 30 brothers there, but he injured 17 of them. According to Mr. Hu's instructions, I had someone knock down the dog. Because he was too fierce, no one dared to go there, but only 10 of them were injured. 89% of them won't survive. Hu Zhenyu sighed, what a good dog. It's a pity. Nothing gained. Almost half of the vegetable garden was destroyed. There were some fake cigarettes and fake wine in the house. When I left, I brought back the computer host. I also set a fire in his broken house. Everything was done clean. There were several places. I have taken care of it, they will definitely not find anything out of the investigation. Fake cigarettes, fake wine, fake cigarettes and fake wine, if there are a lot of them, we can send him in to cool off for a few days, and then the brothers inside will treat him well. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 55, A Powerful Country Without Manufacturers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Meng Meng, pour us a drink. Du Yongchang picked up the wine glass and shook it gently. The deep purple color gave him a dazzling feeling. The wine that was shaken on the glass took dozens of seconds to slowly slide down. The aroma of the wine made him feel fresh. Nostalgic, after taking a sip, Du Yongchang couldn't help but hum, and his eyes finally showed a hint of shock. He loved collecting wine, and he had collected the Bordeaux and Conti that the old man just mentioned, but compared with the wine served in the wine jar, as the old man said, Bordeaux and Conti are really inferior wines. Well, this wine is much better than the wines in your collection. Pour the wines in your collection quickly. The old man looked at Du Yongchang, his words were full of ridicule, which made Du Yongchang's face full of embarrassment. He really couldn't accept that the top-quality wine he had spent a lot of money and time collecting was not as good as the wine brewed by a mountain boy. Meng Meng, go back and tell that silly boy. The top wines are always served in wooden barrels. He used pickle jars to serve them, which is a waste of this top wine. After saying this, the old man suddenly thought of something. Meng Meng, wouldn't his collection of Zui Linglong have also been looted? Grandpa, I didn't ask about this. This kid, his family is gone, where can he sleep at night? Du Mengnan sighed quietly and said, he said that he has slept in cement pipes. Everywhere is his home. He plans to knock down the house and rebuild it. Neither arrogant nor impetuous, I like this kid. Meng Meng works harder and takes down this kid, Du Gang said suddenly. Du Mengnan's pretty face was blushing, but Du Yongchang's head was full of black lines. Du Shichang's eyes were full of shock. He knew his father, who rarely praised people, but now he was praising a young man from a rural area. He became interested in Zhao Xinyu. Meng Meng, I want to ask you something. Your second aunt heard that there is a cosmetic called Qinghua Qingqing in Pengcheng in Yanjing. There is no manufacturer. It is completely handmade. After using it, future generations can be young. More than 10 years old, many people now want to buy Qinghua Qingqing. Have you heard of Qinghua Qingqing? Du Mengnan chuckled, second uncle, Zhao Xinyu made this Qinghua Qingqing. I'm keeping it for my second aunt and the others. Du Yongchang's eyes narrowed slightly. During this period, he often heard his wife mention this name, and she seemed to be younger. He also inquired about it, and it was spread among the wealthy circles in Pengcheng and Yanjing. With the name Qinghua Qingqing, you don't need to put on makeup at all. You only need to wash your face and apply it. There are more than 10 kinds of fragrances. The price of a bottle is more than 50,000, but even if you have money, you may not be able to buy it. The most important thing is that, as the second brother Du Shichang said, the older the person who uses Qinghua Qingqing, the better the effect. Well, according to my wife, a woman in her 50s used Qinghua Qingqing and became more than 10 years younger. Now she looks like someone in her 30s. Now he didn't expect that this alluring country that drove countless women crazy was also created by a young man whom he despised. This made Du Yongchang begin to wonder about Zhao Xinyu. Meng Meng, so to speak, your mother also used Qinghua Qingqing, but this thing has not been tested. Be careful that there are toxins in it. Du Mengnan curled his lips. Dad, what are you thinking? Qingguoqingqing is an ointment of pure Chinese medicine, but Zhao Xinyu mixed the fragrance in it, and the fragrance is also a fusion of different Chinese herbal medicines. His own face, Yuma's face, but they all recovered with this ointment. While Du Mengna was explaining to her father about the beauty of the country, the world's famous cosmetics groups, such as Estée Lauder, L'Oréal, and Cardamom, held high-level meetings one after another. There was only one content of the meeting. They received news that in two cities in China, Pengcheng and Yanjing, that magical country in the east, a cosmetic called Qingguoqingqing appeared at the same time. Qingguoqingqing is made by boiling Chinese herbal medicine into an ointment using ancient Chinese medicine techniques. No chemical raw materials are added to it. Even the fragrance is made from a blend of different Chinese medicinal herbs. Qingguoqingqing is completely a Chinese herbal ointment. It does not contain any harmful substances. It only needs to be applied for more than 10 minutes. However, the effect is not comparable to that of their brands. Anyone who uses it will have significant effects. The older they get, the better. The larger the effect, the more obvious it is. What surprised them most was that Qingguoqingqing had no manufacturer, even the labels were written by hand, and there were 15 kinds of scents alone. And each fragrance is a mixed fragrance, and each fragrance will give people a different feeling. Groups such as L'Oréal and Estée Lauder are world-famous groups. They all know what it means to their group if they can obtain the Qing dynasty, so they immediately convened a high-level meeting after receiving the news. That is to get this alluring formula from the folk at all costs. Even if you can't get the alluring formula, you still have to get the 15-cent fusion methods. Zhao Xinyu, who was involved in all this, had no idea that he was already at the farmhouse, busy cooking, and preparing to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival with Han Li and other members of his family. In the afternoon, Han Li and the others went out to buy materials for 2 simple houses and built 2 simple houses on an open space outside the east wall. Xinyu, I know a few foremen. When I meet them tomorrow, we will plan the yard carefully and build a few grand houses. Zhao Xinyu laughed and said, I have asked Du Mengnan to find someone. While having dinner in the evening, Han Li received a call. News came from the police that the gangsters who committed the arson attack had surrendered. There were 6 of them in total. The judicial process had been completed and the results would be available soon. The police wanted to know what losses Zhao Xinyu had suffered and how much civil compensation they could get. Han Li, tell them that I don't need any compensation. I just want them to accept the harshest sanctions. Han Li and the others were all surprised. They knew that nearly half of the vegetables in the courtyard were damaged. If calculated, Zhao Xinyu could get a lot of compensation. But now Zhao Xinyu gave up the compensation, which made them confused. In fact, Zhao Xinyu also had his own ideas. When he came to Xihanling, he only had conflicts with Zhao Ximing and the others. The last time the fat man led the urban management to cause trouble, those people were only detained for a few days and then released. What happened this time must be related to the last incident. There was obviously someone on the other side. The reason why they surrendered so quickly this time was entirely because of a phone call from Du Gang. And even if they ask for compensation, they must have their own way. A few acres of vegetables will not get much money at all. Instead of getting a little compensation, it is better to give them a heavy sentence. When going back in the evening, Han Li was worried that Zhao Xinyu would be in trouble, so a group of people sent Zhao Xinyu back to the compound. They left after Zhao Xinyu locked the door. After returning to the newly built simple house, Zhao Xinyu entered the space. He wanted to see how Black Wind was doing. Although Hafen could not stand up yet, he at least had consciousness. After seeing Zhao Xinyu, Hafen growled at Zhao Xinyu several times, his voice full of grief and anger. The eyes turned blood red again. Zhao Xinyu raised his hand and caressed He Feng's body a few times. He Feng, don't worry, things will eventually come to light one day, and I will definitely seek justice for you then. Hearing what Zhao Xinyu said, He Feng roared a few times, and his eyes gradually became clear. That night, Zhao Xinyu did not leave the space. He stayed in the space to comprehend and practice the Hongmeng Sutra left by his grandfather. The next day, while the preserved vegetables and the farmhouse were reopening, Du Mengnan brought a few people over. While they were measuring and planning the yard, Du Mengnan approached Zhao Xinyu. Zhao Xinyu, when we came over, we took a look outside the yard. There are ravines on the east, west and north of your yard. There are 2 yards the same size as your yard behind. No one lives in the yard. You spend money to convert the 2 yards. Buy the yard and you can grow vegetables or build a house. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 56, Purchasing Land and Building a House. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Hearing what Du Mengnan said, Zhao Xinyu's mind flashed. Only his side of his yard could communicate with the outside world. To the east was Luo Shui, and to the west and north were ravines more than 30 meters deep. There were indeed 2 ravines behind it. Family, but Han Tianliang said that the 2 families had moved out for a few years and bought a house outside, so they probably would not come back. Now that Du Mengnan reminded him, his mind became active. The 3 courtyards together with the vacant roads or wasteland totaled about 40 or 50 acres. If he could get them all, this would be a good choice for him, at least. Don't worry about the fields for the time being. I'll give you a call. Half an hour later, Han Tianliang called back. He had already contacted 2 families, but the 2 families had also heard about Zhao Xinyu. When they heard that Zhao Xinyu wanted to buy their yard, the price was 300,000. You must know that these 300,000 yuan can buy several similar yards in the village. According to Han Tianliang, there are still more than 10 acres of farmland to the east, so why spend so much money to buy their already dilapidated yard? What's wrong? The asking price for each yard is 300,000, no bargaining. Bring me your phone. Zhao Xinyu didn't know what Du Mengnan was going to do. He handed over his mobile phone. He didn't ask Du Mengnan what he was doing. He was thinking about whether he should buy the 2 yards. Well, I think you'd better buy it. Zhao Xinyu nodded subconsciously. You just. Kingguo Qingqing is sold out. I'll transfer the money to you. By the way, I'll get another batch when I have time. You were sold. Du Mengnan chuckled. Of course, you made a total of 265 bottles. My Yumeng Lanxiang is my errand money. In addition to the ones you promised to give to the Luo family, there are a total of 218 bottles left. A bottle of 28,000, the money will be transferred to you. Zhao Xinyu was dumbfounded this time. 28,000 a bottle was too much. I originally thought that vegetables were the most profitable, but now it seems that I was wrong. With more than 5 million in the account, Zhao Xinyu felt confident. He called Han Tianliang again and asked Han Tianliang to inform the 2 families to return to the village with the real estate procedures, and on this afternoon, Zhao Xinyu, through the village committee and the land management department, placed the ownership of both yards in his own name. After the news spread, the villagers went crazy. More than 300,000 yuan can already buy a building in the city, but now 2 dilapidated and unoccupied yards are sold for 300,000 yuan. They don't understand why Zhao Xinyu spent so much money to buy those 2 yards. Many people immediately became interested. They asked Han Tianliang to find Zhao Xinyu, hoping that Zhao Xinyu would buy their prescription, even at a lower price. Of course Zhao Xinyu understood their thoughts, but these areas were far away from his area, so he did not consider buying them. In the next period of time, Du Mengnan brought people over to explore, plan, and discuss house construction with Zhao Xinyu. After research, a workshop with its own yard was built in the northernmost part of the area. But he chose to live in the area surrounded by Luo Shui. On this day, the construction machinery drove into this area, the machinery roared, and the 2 courtyards behind became farmland. Zhao Xinyu left everything to Han Li and the others, and left the compound alone. According to what he said, he wanted to go back to his hometown. Then one morning when Han Li and the others came over, Zhao Xinyu had already left. In the following period, Han Li and the others occasionally wanted to call Zhao Xinyu to ask when Zhao Xinyu would come back, but every time they called, the other party was not in the service area. They fought several times in succession, but the result was the same, which left Han Li and the others speechless. In Kailiang Mountain, under an inaccessible cliff, there is a simple room. The room is hidden in the ancient forest under the cliff. It is really difficult to find it if you don't look carefully. With a loud bird song, 2 large golden birds with wingspan of more than 3 meters circled and landed on an open space in front of the simple house. 2 hares weighing at least 5 or 6 kilograms were also thrown to the ground. The next moment, the door rang, and a young man with a height of 1.75 meters came out of the room, and beside him was a big black dog with a height of 1.5 meters. Jin Hen and Jin Yu will bring back 2 more. These 2 are not enough for you to eat. The 2 big birds made a low cry, and a strong wind surged. The 2 big guys fluttered their wings and rushed into the sky. The young man bent down and picked up the 2 hares, then turned and entered the jungle next to the simple house. There is an endless stream below the highland. The young man is cleaning the hares by the stream. In a large basin with white tenderness in the stream, there are 5 marinated pheasants. Suddenly a wolf howl sounded from a distance. If it were someone else, he might have put down the hare and ran back to the simple house to hide. But when the young man heard the howl of the wolf, he looked at the big black dog beside him and said, "Black Wind, your good friends are here to find you." As he finished speaking, the bushes on the other side of the stream shook, and more than a dozen green wolf heads protruded from the bushes. When they saw the young man cleaning up the hares by the stream, their eyes lit up at the same time, and their big heads suddenly retracted. The young man raised his eyes and looked at the bushes that had stopped shaking, and couldn't help but shake his head. He knew that he would be busy for a long time today. If Han Li and Du Mengyao were here, they would definitely be able to recognize the young man at a glance as Zhao Xinyu, who they had never been able to contact, and said he was returning to his hometown. There is nothing left in his hometown. When he returns to his hometown, he will think of working for them for more than 20 years, but he has never enjoyed even one day of happiness. He doesn't want to see things and miss people, so he chooses Kailiang Mountain. After entering Kailiang Mountain, he initially only moved around the outer areas and harvested a lot of natural Chinese herbal medicine. However, after the black wind recovered, they began to go to inaccessible areas. Then he met a wolf family. Heifeng and the Green Wolf King fought several times. The 2 sides didn't know each other until they fought, and eventually became friends. The area he is now in is the territory of the Green Wolf Pack. He built a simple house on a high ground on the edge of a stream. There are the Green Wolf Pack, Black Wind, Jin Hen, and Jin Yu. He is not worried about being surrounded by other large carnivores' attack. After this period of time, he practiced the Hongmeng Sutra in space every day. After breaking through the first level of the Hongmeng Sutra, he finally had internal energy flowing through his body. The next moment he had internal power. Zhao Xinyu also felt incredible. However, he always believed in his grandfather's words and believed that the ancient martial arts practitioners in movies and TV series were not all fictitious. After cultivating his internal strength, he thought of the box of ancient books with acupuncture points and meridians left to him by his grandfather. After taking them out, he saw a letter left by his grandfather under an ancient book. In the letter, his grandfather Zhao Lu also expected that he would be able to cultivate his internal strength, and specially selected 2 exercises for him to practice: 5 God Art and Like a Shadow. He also specifically explained in the letter that he did not combine the 2 exercises. He cannot look at anything below until he reaches Dashang. If he can practice both techniques to Dashang, he can choose the one he likes at will while looking at what is left at the bottom of the box. The 5 Gods Art is just like the Wu Qin Shi originally created by the miracle Dr. Hua Tuo, except that the 5 Gods Art imitates the movements of the legendary ancient mythical beasts Suzaku, White Tiger, Qinglong, Xuanwu and Qilin. There are only 9 movements of each mythical beast, and every action cannot be simulated by ordinary people. Although he has practiced the Hongmeng Sutra, it took him a full week to practice the first action of Suzaku in the 5 Gods Art. He was exhausted after practicing every day, but after taking a nap, his body felt relaxed, and a layer of black impurities appeared on his body. after he practiced the first movement of dancing for 9 days, large areas of purple-black impurities appeared on his body, and his body became lighter. It was effortless to go out to the mountains to find herbs, knowing the benefits of the 5-God art. He practiced selflessly, and every time he practiced a movement, his body would change, either becoming lighter, stronger, or his thinking would become clearer. In 3 months, he had mastered all the 45 movements of the 5-God art. When he finished the last movement, what came out of his body was no longer impurities, but dark red blood. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 57 Changes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me, when he did not gain space, because he practiced the Hongmeng Sutra intermittently. Although Zhao Xinyu would not get sick, his body was very thin. After coming into contact with the Hongmeng Sutra, his physical condition has undergone great changes, and now he can feel the powerful energy contained in his muscles. The meridians in his body have become thicker than before, and the surface of his skin has become even thicker. There is a vague layer of crystal luster covering it. Then Zhao Xinyu and Heifeng competed. Although he was not as agile as Heifeng in terms of body shape, he was not afraid to touch easily in terms of strength. What surprised Zhao Xinyu even more was that in the past, he couldn't bear it when Heifeng bumped into him. But during the competition, when Heifeng bumped into him, he didn't react much at all. Sometimes he could even push him away. The black wind shook back. He knew that this must be the reason for the 5-God art. Because of this, he immediately began to practice the shadow follower. With the training of shadow follower, when he competed with Heifeng, Heifeng could only be abused. In the end, as long as he proposed he competed with Heifeng, and Heifeng dove into the jungle to find the green wolves, Heifeng was unwilling to compete, so he could only focus on Jin Hen and Jin Yu. However, after a period of time, Jin Hen and Jin Yu were unwilling to compete with him. At this time, Zhao Xinyu was full of confidence. The reason why he never went back was because he wanted to practice the 5-God art and shadow follower to the great state in Kailiang Mountain. During the time when he was concentrating on training, the green wolves appeared from time to time. Of course, every time the green wolves appeared, they would bring plenty of game. Now the green wolves appeared again. After seeing him handling game, the green wolves immediately understood that he was going to have a barbecue today, so they didn't need to say hello at all and went directly to round up the game on their territory. There are nearly 30 green wolves in the pack, and it takes half a day just to clean up the game, and during the barbecue, on this highland, except for Jin Hen, Jin Yu, and Heifeng, all the green wolves were present. Green wolves of all sizes were lying behind Zhao Xinyu, their eyes always staring at his hands. Continuously turning game meat. Every time the smell of meat fills the air, all the green wolves salivate. But even so, they will not run over to fight for the barbecue in Zhao Xinyu's hand. After the game was grilled and placed on the branches, the green wolves still did not move. This made Zhao Xinyu feel very emotional. In many cases, humans are really not as good as animals. After finishing the barbecue and cleaning up, night had fallen. When he returned to the simple room, he looked at the numbers he wrote on the wall and couldn't help but sigh slightly. It had been more than 4 months since he came out. According to the agreement with the engineering company, it should be the day for work to be handed over there in the village. Moreover, the Lunar New Year is coming in more than 20 days, so Hanli and the others have been taking care of a lot of things. It would be unreasonable for him not to go there. With the idea of going home, Zhao Xinyu began to clean up. During this period, he dried a lot of fungus and wild mushrooms in the space. When he was looking for medicinal herbs, he often encountered wild mushrooms and fungus in the mountains. He directly collected the dead wood into the space. So far, more than 10 acres of his space are filled with wild mushrooms and fungus. However, he cannot take these things out directly, so he can only dry them. Early the next morning, when they were leaving, black wind howled to the sky. A moment later, the green wolf pack arrived on the high ground. The blue wolf king kept wailing at black wind, as if he was unwilling to let black wind leave. Haifeng arrived at the side of the Green Wolf King, and his huge body rubbed against the Green Wolf King, which made Zhao Xinyu's heart move involuntarily. This Green Wolf Pack is different from other wolf packs. The Green Wolf King is a female wolf, but Qin Feng is. Now seeing the state of the Green Wolf King and Haifeng, Zhao Xinyu knew that Haifeng and the Green Wolf King were in love. Looking at Haifeng and Green Wolf King who were reluctant to leave, Zhao Xinyu felt helpless. He didn't know how to deal with this matter. Black Wine suddenly lowered his head to his side, rubbed his big head against his body, and kept growling at him, his eyes full of anticipation. Zhao Xinyu's heart moved slightly. Haifeng, you want me to take them back? Haifeng nodded immediately, which made Zhao Xinyu couldn't help but shake his head. Green wolves are used to living in the mountains and forests. If they are taken back, how will they live, and how will people treat him? If the Animal Protection Organization investigates, what can he do? You really have to sit there for a few years. Haifeng, I can take them away, but they can only stay in space for the time being. In the early morning of that day, Zhao Xinyu returned to the village, but he did not go back to the compound directly. He only took a few glances on the road opposite the compound. The originally dilapidated area has been completely renovated. A tall wall clings to the edge of the ravine to surround the entire area. The earthen ravine is completely reinforced with rocks, but there is not a trace of cement in the gaps between the rocks. The fitting of the rocks is completely based on the ancients' formula. It is made by pouring a mixture of glutinous rice and white ash. On the front is a wooden gate more than 5 meters wide and 8 meters high. On the gate are copper nails the size of wine glasses. The area outside the gate and the road is paved with rocks, forming an area of thousands of square meters. There are stone chairs around the square for people to rest. Behind the chairs are unplanted tree pits and circular flower beds. A stone arch bridge hundreds of meters long connects the courtyard to the area surrounded by Luo Shui. In the middle of the area that was once full of weeds stands a courtyard. Seeing that a large area of Nuada was now under his own name, Zhao Xinyu couldn't help but feel excited. He used to run around for a living every day, but he never dared to think that he would have such a day. Seeing a glimmer of light appearing in the east, Zhao Xinyu hailed a taxi and went to a cargo station in the south of the city. He had to take out the dried fungus and wild mushrooms in the space without making Han Li and the others suspicious. Come out. After working at the cargo station until nearly 10 o'clock, he called Han Li. Before he could speak, Han Li complained for more than 10 minutes. He told Han Li to go over there to collect the mountain goods he brought from his hometown. He found a nearby barber shop. When he opened the door and entered, he found that his clothes were shabby, his hair and beard were too long, and there were people around him who looked like calves. Haifeng was almost kicked out as a homeless person. Returning to the compound, pushing open the heavy door, a stone road more than 4 meters wide led directly to the independent courtyard in the north. There is no trace of green on both sides of the road, but it is clean. When Zhao Xinyu was looking at the yard, Haifeng roared and rushed into the yard from him, having fun on the land that once gave birth to him. Then he ran to a place and dug the soil vigorously. This made Zhao Xinyu's heart move. He thought of what was under that area, and buried under that area was the wine he brewed. He walked over and took a look at the area. There were still vegetable roots left in the soil, which made him sigh. He forgot the wine when he left. Fortunately, the ground was not plowed here. If the ground was plowed with a machine, he would not even a chance to cry. Xinyu, you're back, a voice came from behind him. Grandpa Han, I'm back. Just come back. Why are you standing here? Let's go see your new house first. But you don't know that people sneak in and take pictures of your yard every day in those days. When Zhao Xinyu stepped onto the stone arch bridge, he saw a platform of tens of square meters under both ends of the stone arch bridge, and a stone step winding down. Crossing the stone arch bridge, Zhao Xinyu saw that all the farmland had been plowed over. Looking at the farmland that still smelled of earth, Zhao Xinyu suddenly thought of a question. Grandpa Han, why are there no ditches? Du Mengnan said that water canals waste water. Water pipes are laid down here. From now on, sprinkler irrigation will be used, which saves trouble and labor. By the way, will vegetables be grown here next year? The vegetables are fine over there, but I plan to plant fruit trees here. I thought of the Hami apricots and the new plum black gem that have grown into a forest in the space. Zhao Xinyu said directly without thinking. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 58 The Appearance of Home. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. The courtyard standing in the middle is completely wrapped in blue bricks. There are 8 typical Jiangnan-style houses in the southeast and northwest. Passing through the doorway, you are faced with a screen wall more than 3 meters high, on which are carved pine and crane longevity. Going around the screen wall, there is a flower pond with an area of almost 200 square meters. At the 4 corners of the flower pond, there are 4 large urns with a height of 1.5 meters and a diameter of more than 1 meter. The urns are filled with clear water. There are green duckweeds floating on it. The large urn filled with water has had 2 functions in the past years. Fish farming is generally used to adjust life. If there is a fire at home, the water in the large urn can be used to extinguish the fire nearby. Several members of the family were busy in the courtyard. When they saw Zhao Xinyu coming in from outside, they immediately gathered around him. The next topic was why he hadn't even received a phone call for so long. Zhao Xinyu laughed and looked at Hanli. Please put away all the goods in the truck. Put it away. Where did you get so many wild mushrooms and fungus? I have been buying these products in the mountains of my hometown, and there is almost no signal there. Everyone nodded. They always thought that something had happened to Zhao Xinyu, but they didn't expect that Zhao Xinyu was busy buying mountain goods. Come, take a look at your new home. 4 rooms have been cleaned for you. Everything is done. Why clean so many rooms? Hanli curled his lips and said, Du Mengnan asked her to clean 1 room. We will come over to drink in the future. If we are late, we won't go back. We can get 2 rooms anyway and reserve 1 room. Zhao Xinyu nodded and walked towards the main room. On the far left was the kitchen, next to it were 2 hollowed-out dining rooms, followed by still 2 hollowed-out living rooms, and to the west was an independent room. The 2 rooms below are suites, which are Zhao Xinyu's bedroom and study room. The furnishings in the room, living room, and dining room are all antique, and a lot of ingredients have been piled up in the kitchen. Looking at the ingredients in the kitchen, Zhao Xinyu looked at Hanli. Hanli hit him on the shoulder and said, Why are you pretending? I haven't eaten your food for months. These are all prepared for you. Hurry up. There's no one over there. Yes, Brother Jiang, his wife and Xiaopeng are taking care of it over there. By the way, Xiaopeng said that you are his master, so there should be a room for him here. Zhao Xinyu nodded, and suddenly thought of the wine he brewed. Hanli, go get the wine I brewed. I forgot to tell you when I left. Hanli and the others were stunned by these words. Everything in the compound was demolished and rebuilt. They also knew that Zhao Xinyu brewed wine, but they did not see the wine. The black wind knows where it is. While Zhao Xinyu was preparing the meal, Hanli and the others came in with 2 wine jars stained with soil. Fortunately, there was no movement over there. If construction started over there, all the wine would be ruined. How many altars are there in total? 139 altars. When Hanli opened the wine seal, the unique aroma of the wine filled the air, which made everyone's eyes fall on the wine jar. They did not have Du Yongchang's family background, and the most expensive wine they had ever drunk was only a few dozen yuan. So in their impression, wine is just like that, sour and unpleasant to drink. But now they felt something different from the aroma of the wine. Those who originally planned to drink the drunken wine that Zhao Xinyu brought from his hometown this time also had the urge to taste the wine. Unlike people who are professional at tasting red wine, Hanli and his friends were not particular about it. Each person poured a steel cup and drank red wine according to the same procedure as drinking white wine. Although Zhao Xinyu also knows about red wine culture, he is also from the village. His thoughts are the same as Han Li and others, all about wine. Just drink and that's it. After taking a sip, everyone cheered. Xinyu, this wine is not strong enough, not as good as drunkenness, but it is indeed delicious and sweet. This wine has a strong stamina, so drink less. Cut. An hour later, Han Li and the others drank all the 2 jars of wine. When they got out of the yard, they were blown away by the wind and the wine was strong. Everyone was top-heavy, especially Han Jun, Lu Ming, and Huang Jijun. When the wind blows, it falls to the ground. Fortunately, Han Tianliang and the others were there, and everyone helped Han Li and the others to the room they had just cleaned. Knowing how strong the wine is, Zhao Xinyu only drank a little, but he was fine. When Han Tianliang and the others went to the preserved vegetables, he took Qin Feng out of the yard and wandered around the area, thinking about the area in his mind. How to use it. When Han Tianliang and the others came back in the evening, Han Li and the others were still sound asleep. Han Tianliang and the others called several times but there was no response. They had no choice but to eat and go back on their own. After going out and locking the door, Zhao Xinyu looked at the nearly 1 mile distance when he came back. He wondered if he should buy a few electric cars to make it easier to get in and out. After returning to his room and thinking about the upcoming spring festival, Zhao Xinyu couldn't help but shake his head. He thought of the Mid-Autumn Festival. He originally wanted to spend the spring festival happily, but Haifeng was almost beaten to death and didn't even have a home. Thinking of the new year, Zhao Xinyu took out his mobile phone to check the balance on his bank card, and was slightly stunned. When he left, there was nearly 5 million on his bank card. The land preparation and house construction was estimated to be around 4 million. When he left, he handed over his bank card to Jiang Fei and asked Jiang Fei to handle the matter here. I originally thought that there wasn't much money on the card. After all, vegetables would certainly not be spared from tidying up this place. How much could I sell just based on the fish in Luoshui River? But now there are more than 2.4 million in the bank card. What does this mean? In the past 4 months, I have been receiving income continuously. With money in hand, Zhao Xinyu felt confident. He immediately took out a pen and paper and began to calculate what kind of benefits he would give to Han Li, the others, and the villagers during this year's New Year. Before Zhao Xinyu could get up the next day, he heard the mess in the kitchen. After washing up, he heard Han Li and the others looking for something to eat in the kitchen. I made a large pot of lean meat and millet porridge for Han Li and others, mixed with some cold vegetables, and several people ate it before they felt better. Xinyu's wine is delicious, and it has great stamina. Didn't you say that it tastes delicious? One person drank nearly 2 kilograms. This wine is good, but you can't drink too much. 3 or 4 taels at a time is just right. After saying this, he thought about what he had studied yesterday, and told Han Li and others his thoughts. Xinyu, let's forget it. You spend more here and you will need more money to pay back next spring. I've kept all the money I spent during the spring festival. You go to the village and do some statistics. By the way, Han Li, you ask Brother Jiang to get some electric vehicles here so that we can get in and out more easily. After Han Li and the others left, Zhao Xinyu thought of Du Mengnan. He took out his phone and dialed Du Mengnan's number for the first time. After all, the two of them can be considered friends, and the person who transformed him was found by Du Mengnan. Now that I'm back, I can't say hello without saying hello. In just half an hour, Du Mengnan's car stopped in front of the gate. As soon as he entered, Du Mengnan punched Zhao Xinyu on the shoulder. You damn thing, I thought you would never come back again. When he said this, Zhao Xinyu noticed that Du Mengnan's eyes were a little red. Zhao Xinyu's heart felt warm, and he subconsciously raised his hand to stroke Du Mengnan's long, smooth hair. Why don't you come back? This is all my belongings. Come on, I'll show you something. Just click over there and you'll definitely need it. Superior, Du Mengnan's delicate body trembled, her pretty face turned crimson, and her eyes were filled with brilliance. She lowered her head and followed Zhao Xinyu like a little daughter-in-law. After leaving the yard, Du Mengnan whispered, Zhao Xinyu, how do you plan to develop next year? Meng, you have many connections, help me find a store in the city. I plan to open a vegetable, melon and fruit stall in the city. This is a way, but once you sell so many vegetables, it will inevitably arouse the jealousy of the surrounding vegetable growers. You must think about this clearly. The stalls in the city are high quality, so it won't affect them. After crossing the stone arch bridge to the independent courtyard in the north, he pushed the door open and saw a row of 16 houses and 4 warehouses. Zhao Xinyu went to the second warehouse. When Du Mengnan entered, her eyes were fixed on the wine jars still stained with soil. This is all wine. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 59: The Value of a Country and a City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. By the way, would you like to take this wine back and taste it? Grandpa said your wine is better than Bordeaux and Conti. The bottle I took last time has been drunk long ago. Grandpa has asked you many times when you will be back. What price can this wine be sold for? The taste of your wine has reached the top level, but the packaging is not good. The red wine will be served in wooden barrels. You pour it and find a few pickle jars. Is this a wine jar? Du Mengnan chuckled and said, these are Grandpa's exact words. If you have anything else, you can tell Grandpa when you see him. Zhao Xinyu's head turned dark and he looked at Du Mengnan speechlessly, which made Du Mengnan smile even more. After laughing, Du Mengnan looked at Zhao Xinyu and said, you plan to sell this wine. If it is sold, it is conservatively estimated that this bottle can be sold for about 200,000 yuan. Zhao Xinyu was stunned for a moment, looking at Du Mengnan with a dull look in his eyes. 200,000 yuan for a jar of wine was something he didn't even dare to think about. This is because your packaging is not good. If you use wooden barrels, the price will be higher. By the way, there is one more thing I want to tell you. During the time when you return to your hometown, the top 10 cosmetics groups in the world all sent people are looking for you. These words made Zhao Xinyu stunned again. What could the cosmetics company want from him? He was not a popular celebrity, so he couldn't be found for endorsements. It's because Qinghua Qingqing. They came here to find the owner of the Qinghua Qingqing formula. I heard that L'Oreal is willing to pay $1 billion to acquire the Qinghua Qingqing brand and formula. Even your 16 fragrance formulas are worth $300 million. Zhao Xinyu's eyes flickered a few times. Qinghua Qingqing was strictly a product of traditional Chinese medicine, but the formula was from the essence of the golden chamber. If the formula is sold, those groups will definitely monopolize the formula, and they will not label the product with the name of traditional Chinese medicine, which they are afraid of. If he wants to use this formula, he will be sued for infringement. Although Zhao Xinyu was once poor, because he studied traditional Chinese medicine with his grandfather, he has a strong national concept. He does not want to use the things developed by his ancestors. But it became their brand, therefore, he would not sell it even if he was given 1 billion or 10 billion. He was even less willing to see others taking his own formula and turning around and selling it to the Chinese at a high price. Now a bottle of Qinghua Qingqing can be sold for 28,000 yuan. If it gets into their hands, the price will definitely not be less than 100,000 yuan. Let them earn the money that the Chinese people have worked hard to save, and it is better to earn it yourself. Seeing that Zhao Xinyu didn't speak, Du Mengnan's almond-shaped eyes flashed a few times. Actually, it's good to be able to sell for so much money. Not to mention ordinary people, even those large enterprises and groups, they may not be able to earn so much money in their lifetime. Zhao Xinyu smiled faintly, his eyes falling on Du Mengnan. Meng, do you think I should sell it or not? Du Mengnan's expression was a bit complicated. You said that the Yumeng orchid fragrance you made for me is unique in the world. Then I won't sell it. I'm so young and can earn 28,000 yuan a bottle. When I'm 80 years old, it shouldn't be difficult to make 1 billion or 800 million yuan. Du Mengnan couldn't help but feel happy. She raised her hand and tapped him on the shoulder. You were away during that time. I helped you register Qingua Qingqing. If you want, you can open a store to sell Qingua Qingqing. It costs money to open a store. I just need you to help me sell it. I will make it when I go back and make it beautiful. Du Mengnan looked up and saw 15 boxes under one wall, with a label affixed to the outside of each box. So much, Zhao Xinyu laughed. How can I save some family property for future generations? You can find a car later. Leave 30 jars of this wine for me. You can take the rest with you. Your grandfather will leave 20 jars. If possible, send 10 altars to Mr. Luo's side. Zui Linglong only has 36 altars. I'll leave 16 altars here. Your grandfather will get 15 altars, and the Luo family will have 5 altars. You are willing to do so. It doesn't matter whether you want to give it up or not. By the way, don't give me any money. Just get some special cigarettes and alcohol. All the ones I brought back last time were taken away. I also promised Hanli and the others to give them a few boxes of special supplies. Offer cigarettes. Du Mengnan looked at Zhao Xinyu speechlessly. If he took out these things, he could sell them for hundreds of thousands, which is tens of millions. This guy is good. Specially made tobacco and alcohol that cannot be purchased in the market. I will help you bring this matter. By the way, you just said you had something good to show me. Zhao Xinyu walked to a corner of the warehouse, where hundreds of filled woven bags were piled up. He took one over and opened it. Come and take a look. Auricularia fungus, these are the fungus we ate last time. Zhao Xinyu nodded and pulled out a bag. There are also wild mushrooms here, but they are all natural and of the best quality. Nothing is added when they are dried. These are all for me. Let me keep some of the farm food and preserved vegetables. You get 40% and I get 60%. Okay, what do you plan to do here? Do you want to open a workshop and make something that will captivate the country? Zhao Xinyu nodded. Drunk Linglong, make the country and the city beautiful. Du Mengnan was slightly startled. She suddenly had a feeling that maybe in a few years, a financial giant would appear again in China. Unlike others who started their business with their business acumen, this financial giant relied entirely on their own technology. How are you going to spend the Chinese New Year this year? Will you still be with Han Li and his family? Probably, but I plan to spend it at home this year, with dozens of people, and the dining room is large enough. On this day, Zaihanling became a hot topic here. During the Spring Festival, Zhao Xinyu distributed Spring Festival benefits to the villagers. In addition to rice, flour and oil, each household also received 1,000 yuan. As for an additional 1,000 renminbi will be given to poor households, minimum living allowance households, and 5 guarantee households. Each village cadre received a red envelope of RMB 8,000. As for Han Li and others who helped him, each of them had 80,000 red envelopes, and the waiters at the farmhouse each received 18,000 red envelopes. This news not only caused a sensation in the villagers of Zaihanling, but also caused quite a stir in the Pingcheng area. A villager who grows vegetables and fish raises benefits to the entire village at the end of the year, while giving rewards to employees. It is already worth the salary of many people working for a year. As people's heated discussions increased, people also learned more about what kind of person Zhao Xinyu was. He had no airs about him. He would often cook for employees, drink and chat with them, and the employees treated him well. Just like you would treat your family, these hotly discussed topics make many corporate CEOs and company bosses feel ashamed. Although they do not have companies or groups like them, they lack the attitude towards employees. And with such employees, it would be difficult for the boss not to make a fortune. The villages that used to laugh at Zaihanling stopped working after hearing about the benefits provided by Zaihanling. They also asked the village to provide benefits like Zaihanling. Now they have become the object of ridicule by the villagers in Zaihanling. As the new year approached, Zhao Xinyu gave another 100,000 yuan to the village. After all, there are some activities in the village more or less every year. It can't be justified without some funds, and the villagers are not motivated enough without funds for activities. When the lanterns were hung in the village, the courtyard here also had a New Year atmosphere. Strings of palace lanterns were hung on the retro street lamps in the courtyard. In order to let the villagers feel the New Year atmosphere, he asked Hanli and the others whether they were allowed to set off fireworks. The result was that using the road in front of their door as the dividing line, fireworks and firecrackers were prohibited in the city, but there were no restrictions in Xihanling village, unrestricted. He immediately spent 200,000 yuan at his own expense to buy back a large number of fireworks and firecrackers, and found a professional to set off fireworks and firecrackers, waiting for the New Year's Day to let the villagers enjoy the fireworks. The location was chosen in the open space behind the yard. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises. Chapter 60 New Year's Greetings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Recite the Situ website silently 3 times. Do you remember it? If you don't remember, I'll ask again in the next chapter. It's best to share it on Facebook for me. Xinyu, you have helped the village a lot this year. Many villagers are grateful to you, so on the day of the New Year, the children in the village association will come to give you New Year greetings. You can prepare some red envelopes. You don't need too much money. There are 5 yuan is enough, and the village also celebrates the New Year every year. When people come to pay New Year greetings, prepare some melon seeds or something, it means something. A few days before the New Year, Han Tianyang revealed a piece of news to Zhao Xinyu. Okay, I don't understand the local customs here. If you need anything else, tell me and I'll ask Hanli and others to prepare it together. There's nothing else. You also know the situation in our village. There are few flat places. Your courtyard is the flattest. They want to watch the fireworks in the courtyard on New Year's Day and wait for the Lantern Festival activities. Activities are also in the courtyard. Yes, of course. You don't need to discuss this kind of thing with me. You can make the decision in the future. After Han Tianyang left, Zhao Xinyu immediately came to Hanli and the others. He also knew that the villagers only wanted to smoke cigarettes and have a drink. Since they would come over to watch the fireworks after the New Year's Eve dinner, and the Lantern Festival would also be here. Activity, he asked Hanli and others to prepare 100 cartons of cigarettes, hundreds of kilograms of melon seeds, candies, and even more fruits, each weighing more than 1,000 kilograms. On the evening of the 20th of the 12th lunar month, Jiang Fei, Chu Qianfan and others arrived at the compound. Jiang Fei handed several account books to Zhao Xinyu for Zhao Xinyu to take a look at. Zhao Xinyu threw it aside and said, "Brother Jiang, I don't understand this thing, and I don't want to see it. I believe you. Don't talk about this matter again in the future." Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan were slightly startled by these words. Jiang Pengxin laughed and said, "Dad, what did I tell you? Master will definitely be unhappy." Zhao Xinyu suddenly thought of something. "By the way, Brother Jiang, when did the farmhouse and preserved vegetables close?" Jiang Fei was slightly startled. "What happened today? We don't even have vegetables. What we sell to others cannot come from other places." Jiang Fei couldn't help but was speechless. "You've been back for so long, don't you know that there is a warehouse down there, which stores a lot of vegetables, enough to support the daily expenses of the farmhouse, preserved vegetables, and Pengcheng Hotel?" Zhao Xinyu scratched the back of his head. He really didn't know that there was an underground warehouse in the yard below. There is also a basement under your yard. It's all hollowed out. There are more than 20 rooms down there. You don't know it, right? Seeing Zhao Xinyu's appearance, Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan. Jiang Pengxin laughed loudly. At this moment, they got to know Zhao Xinyu again, this boss who cared about everything. "Xiaopeng, did you memorize all the things I left for you when I left?" "Master, how long has this been going on?" "I have already memorized it by heart. I even memorized Materia Medica and Huangdi's foreign canon." Zhao Xinyu nodded with satisfaction. "After the new year, you will come to live with me." Jiang Pengxin looked at his parents with a hint of excitement. Mom and Dad, did you hear that? I just said that master will definitely leave a room for me. It's okay to come and live with your master, but you can't lower your grades. If there's anything you don't know, ask your master. He's also a top student. Speaking of going to school, Jiang Pengxin suddenly thought of something. Master, when I went to school this year, the teachers and classmates were surprised. I told them that my illness was cured by master. Many parents and teachers asked me about master's phone number. Zhao Xinyu quickly waved his hand. Xiaopeng, you can't tell them that I don't even have the qualifications to practice medicine now. If this is reported, I won't even have the qualifications to apply for the exam in the future. Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan were stunned by these words, and both of them couldn't help but shake their heads. They really didn't know that Zhao Xinyu, a graduate of the University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, did not have a medical qualification certificate. Xinyu, there is another traditional Chinese medicine assessment exam in March every year. During this period, you can register online. Why don't you also apply for one? Sure, I will apply for the exam after the Chinese New Year. By the way, Brother Jiang, what are your plans for the Chinese New Year this year? Why don't you come here to join in the fun? The more people there are, the more fun it will be. Isn't this good? Because of my parents, Qianfan's parents are here. That is, a few more people can come together and have fun together. Early on New Year's Eve, Zhao Xinyu was awakened by a knock on the door. He got up and put on his clothes. As soon as he opened the door, He Feng jumped into the yard, and Jiang Pengxin, who had just knocked on the door, chased He Feng out of the yard. Looking at the figures of Jiang Pengxin and He Feng, Zhao Xinyu thought of his childhood. At that time, he was so carefree, but now the grandfather who once loved him could never come back, which made him a little sad. When Zhao Xinyu washed up, Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan led two groups of old couples into the courtyard. Jiang Fei didn't introduce the two groups of old couples at all. They came over and took Zhao Xinyu's hand, thanking him with tears. Zhao Xinyu, it is true that Zhao Xinyu only helped Jiang Pengxin stand up again, but he saved Jiang Fei and Chu Qianfan, and they had two families behind them. After letting the four old people into the living room and chatting with them for a while, Zhao Xinyu asked Chu Qianfan to take care of the four old people. He called Jiang Fei out to post Spring Festival couplets. When Zhao Xinyu just returned to the yard after posting the Spring Festival couplets, he saw children outside the gate constantly looking towards the yard. Although he did not know these children, Zhao Xinyu also knew that they were all children in the village. He returned to the room, picked up the backpack containing red envelopes that he had been busy with for most of the day yesterday, and walked out of the yard. At this moment, there were 70 or 80 little guys gathered outside the yard. The oldest one was about the same age as Jiang Pengxin, and the youngest one was not even older than Jiang Pengxin. 5 years old, the little ones were all wearing new clothes, and when they saw Zhao Xinyu coming out, their eyes glowed with anticipation. As the little ones shouted New Year's greetings one after another, Zhao Xinyu accepted all comers and gave each of the little ones a red envelope. The little guy who first paid New Year greetings opened the red envelope immediately after receiving it. When he saw the red 100 inside, he immediately shouted excitedly. People in the undeveloped Xihanling basically still live in a situation of food and clothing. Children can also receive red envelopes during the Chinese New Year, but the maximum is only 50. Many children are happy if they can get 20 or 30. Now how could they not be excited after receiving 100 red envelopes from Zhao Xinyu? After the children, young people like Han Li and Han Jun also came to greet them, but what they received was not a red envelope, but a beautiful cigarette without any markings. Damn, Xinyu, there's a whole pack of special cigarettes. Who do you know? After Han Li and the others got the special cigarettes, they all stared at Zhao Xinyu. Zhao Xinyu curled his lips and said, "Who do I know? I only know you guys who are about to get married and come over to greet you with licking your face. I got these cigarettes from the wholesale market for 6 yuan apiece." Han Li and the others laughed loudly. They knew that Zhao Xinyu had prepared good cigarettes worth more than 20 yuan for the villagers, and would not use 6 yuan cigarettes as an excuse. By the way, I also have special wine in my room. I'll have 2 bottles per person when I get back, and we'll use the rest for the New Year's Eve dinner and the Lantern Festival. Point 7 guys squeezed into Zhao Xinyu's room. They saw more than 30 boxes on the floor in the suite. There were only 2 types of boxes, special for cigarettes and special for wine. Looking at the more than 30 boxes on the ground, Hanli and others showed a hint of horror on their faces. How did this guy get so many special cigarettes and special wines? Others would show off a box of cigarettes or a bottle of wine for a long time, but fortunately, there are more than 30 boxes here. Such a quantity of special cigarettes and special liquor is not something that ordinary people can get. Xinyu can't be a child of that wealthy family, right? Lu Ming glanced at Han Li and the others and whispered. Go away. If he were a kid from a wealthy family, he would still have to pick up scraps and deliver food last year. The eldest Han Jun's eyes flickered a few times and said, Brothers, don't talk nonsense about this matter. It's good for everyone to know. Outside the yard, Zhao Xinyu took out a red envelope and handed it to a little guy who called his uncle. The little guy was Zheng Min's son Yuzhu. Yuzhu, where are your mother and the others? I'm changing my new clothes. I'll be here later. Uncle, Black Wind is here. Outside with Xiaopeng, the little guy put away the red envelope and said, Uncle, I'm going to play with Black Wind. While Zhao Xinyu, Jiang Fei, Chu Qianfan and others were preparing in the kitchen, the sound of gongs and drums came from outside. Hanli laughed, Xinyu, the New Year greeters are here. How many red envelopes have I prepared for everyone? Go quickly and move the fruits, melon seeds, and candy cubes. Outside the gate, Zhao Xinyu handed a big red envelope wrapped in red paper to Han Tianliang, who had brought people over to pay New Year greetings. Han Tianliang pinched it and his expression changed slightly. When he came here just now, he heard from the villagers that Zhao Xinyu gave 100 red envelopes to every child who came to pay New Year greetings. At that time, Han Tianliang still felt a little resentful of Zhao Xinyu. He knew that the red envelope in his hand would be thick. When he opened the red envelope, there were 5 stacks of unopened money inside. Han Tianliang smiled bitterly in his heart and raised the red envelope in his hand high. Zhao Xinyu, give everyone a New Year red envelope of 50,000 yuan. He will work harder and twist it up. There will be cigarettes and fruits for us later. When Han Tianliang shouted this, the villagers who came to pay New Year's greetings were also stunned. They would pay New Year's greetings every year, and the generous ones were only 300 to 500, while the neighboring village paid New Year's greetings to the company, and the red envelopes they received did not exceed 10,000 renminbi. Now Zhao Xinyu's price was 50,000, which really made them unable to react for a while. And as the gongs and drums came to mind, the villagers began to twist hard. When the gongs and drums stopped, Hanli handed the 10 cigarettes he had prepared to his father, and Han Jun and the others also came out carrying boxes of fruits, which made the villagers even more excited. Xiao Zhao, thank you for your contribution to the villagers this year. We all want to become rich with you. Please teach us how to grow vegetables. At the beginning of the chapter, I asked you to read it silently 3 times. Do you remember? Share on Facebook and there may be surprises.